Although Vita Health Group provided this exercise class provisional with your health and safety in mind, each individual participant has their own limitations and should consult their general practitioner or an appropriate medical professional prior to undertaking the class. Should you be prone to injury, are currently pregnant, or be managing any functional limiting medical conditions, please seek medical confirmation prior to participating. At all times, ensure you follow all instructions provided by Vita Health Groups throughout the entirety of the recording. Should you experience any symptoms of dizziness, nausea, or increased pain at any point during your participation, please stop and seek the appropriate advice from your general practitioner or the 111 service.
Hello and welcome to today's class. My name's Danny and I'll be your instructor for today. This class is our intermediate lower back class. It's made for people who are suffering with lower back pain but have that past experience in exercise at an intermediate level. We're going to target all of the major muscle groups in and around the lower back in this class, and the aim of it is to improve sort of strength, coordination and flexibility. All of the equipment that you'll need for today's class is going to be shown on screen. So all you need to do is go and grab a drink and we'll get started with our warm-up. Let's get started with our warm-up then. So with this warm-up, we're aiming to increase our heart rate, activate the muscles, increase mobility, all ready for our exercise class that's coming up. So we're going to start off nice and simple with just some marching on the spot. We're going to be doing this for 1 minute. Do it at your own pace, whether you want to go nice and slow or quite fast, completely up to you. Fab, let's get going for 1 minute then. Make sure we're swinging those arms, lifting the feet nice and high whilst we're marching. Remember, we're working to increase that heart rate. So just taking it at your own pace. That's great, keep swinging those arms, lifting those knees nice and high. And we are nearly halfway there. Great. Again, taking it at your own pace, just as we start the warm-up. Okay, 10 more seconds. Great, and bring that down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, next thing we're going to do, we're just going to do some jogging on the spot this time. We're only going to go for 30 seconds this time. Again, doing it at your own pace. Just make sure that you've got a nice, safe environment around you. Okay, when we're ready, off we go. Again, make sure we're moving those arms and lifting those feet nice and high off the floor. That's it, halfway there. Good, 5 seconds left. And bring it down to a stop. Brilliant. Okay, so next thing we're going to do, we're going to go to do some hip circles. So for this one, I want your feet sort of shoulder width apart on the floor and the hands just resting on your hips. We're going to start off with very small circles. So we're going to sort of push the hips to one side, bring them round to the front and round to the back. Again, just do them at your own pace, and also with the circle, just make it as small or as big as you can, depending on how you're feeling. We're going to go for 30 seconds. When we're ready, off we go. That's it. So just make sure we're concentrating on really pushing those hips all the way around the movement. That's good. Because we're coming up to halfway, we're going to switch and go in the opposite direction. Again, like I said, if you need to do small circles with how you're feeling at the moment, that's absolutely fine. Or nice and big circles, doesn't matter. Great, and come to a stop. Okay, for the next exercise, we're going to go into doing some leg swings. For this one, I'm going to do it just freestanding, but if you need to, you can hold onto a wall, hold onto the back of a chair, whichever works best for you. We're going to start off with our right leg. So again, like I said, holding onto something for stability if needs be. We're going to go for 30 seconds. We're just going to lift the leg out in front of us and then slowly lift behind. Okay, off we go. So just swinging that leg at your own pace. Like I said, if you need to hold on to something, then that's absolutely fine. Good. That's great, keeping the knee nice and straight. And just swinging back and forwards. That's it, we've got 5 seconds left on this leg. And then we'll switch over. Great, okay. So if you need to swing the chair around to the other side or reposition yourself so that you can hold onto the wall the opposite way, that's fine. And then we'll go for 30 seconds again. So on the left leg this time, swinging back and forth. That's great. Again, just doing it at your own pace, lifting the leg in a range of movement that's comfortable for you. Good. Okay, 10 seconds left on this leg. Great, and come to a stop, just back into our resting position. So the next activity that we're going to do is going to be with our arms. We're going to go for some arm circles. So what we'll do, we'll start off with our right arm because we started with our right leg. We'll pop our hand out to the side, and what we're going to do is we're going to start with some circles, just going backwards like this. If you need to do the circles nice and small, that's absolutely fine. Obviously, if you can, then we're going to do nice big circles with the arm. Again, just do whatever feels comfortable for you at the moment. And again, we're going to go for 30 seconds. That's it. Like I said, make sure we're doing this one in a comfortable range of movement. It can be as small or as big as you need at the moment. That's great, we've done 15 seconds on this arm. That's great, last 5 seconds. Brilliant, okay. And this time we're going to do the exact same on the left arm. So again, arm out to the side, you can do small circles if you need to, obviously big ones if you can as well. Fab, off we go, 30 seconds on this one. That's great. Again, just going at the speed that sort of works for you at the moment. If you need to move nice and slowly through this movement, that's fine. Obviously, if you can, then obviously we'll go a bit quicker. That's great, and just 5 more seconds. Perfect, okay. Last exercise of our warm-up, we're gonna do some movements with our spine. So we're gonna work in 4 different directions. We're gonna go for a forward movement, a backwards movement, and then side to side as well. So what I'll do first is I'll show you what we're gonna do, and then I'll explain how many we're gonna do after that. So we're gonna have the feet shoulder width apart again. For the forwards movement, I'd like you to have your hands resting on the front of your legs. And then what I want you to do nice and slowly is just come down as far as you can until you start to feel that bit of a stretch in the lower back, and then return up to your neutral position. Then we'll go for the opposite. So this time I'll turn to the side to show you, you're gonna lean backwards. Again, just a gentle movement, and back up to the neutral position. Then hands down by our sides. Doesn't matter which side you do first, but you're going to bend over to the side, back up, and over to the other side. We're going to do 5 in each direction. Again, just going as far as you can. Okay, we'll do them all together. So if we start at the front, we're going to come down, just go as far as you can, and then back up to that neutral position. Then we're going to lean back, again to the neutral position, hands down by our sides. Drop one hand down the side of the leg, back up, and then over to the side. So that's 1 repetition. So now we'll go for our second. So again, we're going to come back down the front, nice and slowly and controlled. And then this time lean backwards. That's great. And then down to one side. back up and over into the other direction. Brilliant, onto number 3, so back to the front, coming down as far as you can, and back up, and then leaning back, and back into that neutral position. Hands down by our sides, and we'll go over to one side, and back up, then over to the other side, and back up. And now for number 4, back to the front, leaning forwards, and back up. Hands on our hips, and we'll lean backwards, back to our neutral position, and down to one side, and back over to the other direction. Brilliant, last one now, hands back on the front. We're going to lean down as far as we can, back up to the middle, hands on our hips, and lean back to the middle, and then this time we'll drop down one side, back up, and then down to the other side. Okay, that completes our warm-up. So if you want to go and grab a bottle of water ready for our exercise class, and we'll get started. Okay, so this exercise is the banded crab walk. So for this one, we are going to need a resistance band. As you can see, I've got quite a long resistance band. So what you can do is just sort of loop it over twice through, or if you've got a short resistance band, then obviously just use that. If you've got a long piece of band that's just one continuous piece, just tie a knot in it to make a short loop. And then the band is going to go just above our ankles. So we're going to pop our feet in just above the ankles, like so. And then for our banded crab walks, you need to have a little bit of room either side of you. We're going to go down into sort of a semi-squat position. So we've just got that nice bend in the knees. And then what we're going to do is take a step out to the side, so you'll feel the resistance band stretch. What we don't want to do from here is we don't want to let the opposite leg swing back in with the resistance. So you've got to pick the foot off the floor and just bring it back to that neutral position, okay? So we'll go across, bring in, and back down, okay? We're going to do this for 1 minute continuously. We're going to go backwards and forth, side to side, okay? Just use whatever space you've got available. If you've only got room for 2 steps, that's fine. If you want to take, more and come back, also fine. We're just going to go back and forth, okay? So let's go for 1 minute. So keep that resistance in the band. Don't let the legs swing in. You can have the hands in front of you, like this, on your hips, or you can just hold them in front of your chest, whichever you feel is most comfortable. Keep that resistance in the band. Don't let the band pull your legs back in. Might feel a little bit strange doing this one, but once you get into it, you'll start to feel more comfortable. You should feel the muscles on the outside of the hips working against that resistance band. Good, we're about halfway there. Back and forth. If you need to take a break, then do. But if not, then we'll just keep going. That's great. Just go at your own pace as well. If you feel like you can go at the same speed as me, that's great. If you want to go a little bit slower, also fine. 5 more seconds. Great. Okay. Fab. That is the end of our first set. So we're going to take 20 seconds. Have a quick drink of water if you need one, and then we will come back to do our second set. Okay, let's get going with our second set then. So we're going to do the same thing again. So we want the band round the top of the ankles. Just take your time getting your feet in, making sure it's at the right level. Okay, so we're going to go down into that semi-squat position and off we go for 1 minute. Keep that resistance in the band, remember. Should feel those muscles working nice and hard on the side of the hips. Nice small steps. Against the resistance. So we're pushing against the resistance band with our leading foot and then making sure not to let the band fall in with the opposite foot. Okay, hands in a position that's comfortable for you. Keep breathing nice and steady. Okay, we've got about 20 seconds left. Like I said, if you need to pause, then make sure you do. Good. That's it, 10 more seconds. That's great, and stop there. Okay, nice and carefully remove your feet from the resistance band. We're going to take 20 seconds, grab yourself a quick drink, and we'll come back for our next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the walking lunge. For this one, you're going to need some room in front of you. I'm going to go up and down my mat, but if you want to go up and down the room or something like that, that's absolutely fine. We're going to start with the feet together, hands on our hips. We're going to take one step forwards, come down into a lunge, so bring the back knee towards the floor. Instead of going back to where we came from, we're going to bring that back foot through to the front foot, and then we'll do the opposite leg. So you're going to come forwards and up. Okay, like I said, I'm going to go back and forth over my mat, so I'll fit probably 2 lunges in before I turn around. If you want to go slightly further, that's absolutely fine. Whatever works for where you are. Okay, we're going to do 1 minute continuously, then we'll have a break, and then we'll come back and do another minute. Okay, off we go. Nice and slowly, just go at your own pace. When you turn around, make sure you've remembered what leg you've just done. So I do my right leg, then when I turn around, I go for my left and up. But like I said, if you want to do more in a row, then you can. When we're doing these, make sure that we're really focusing on that front leg. We want the knee going over the toes, well, towards the toe like this and up, okay? Towards the toe and up. Okay, keep going. 15 seconds left. Nice and slow at your own pace. Also your own depth, so don't feel like you need to go as low as I am. Just go to a height that works for you. Okay, that's 1 minute. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take 20 seconds, grab yourself a quick drink if you need one, and then we'll come back for the second set. Okay, so back into our second set. Exactly the same thing, so make sure you start somewhere where you've got room to go forwards, and let's get going for another minute. So keeping those knees in line with the toes. When we're lunging, we don't want the knee to come over the toes like this. It puts a bit too much pressure on the knee, so make sure we're not coming over the toes and just dropping down. Nice and steady breathing. Just going at your own pace. Good. Remember, just going down as far as you can comfortably. We don't want that knee to be hitting the floor either, so make sure we're stopping just before the knee gets to the floor. That's great. That's 1 more minute. Okay, so we're going to take 20 seconds rest, grab yourself a quick drink, and then we will be back for our next exercise. Okay, so the next exercise that we're going to be doing is called supine ankle taps. We're going to be lying on our back for this one. So take your time to get down to the floor. If you need to pause, then make sure you do. So we're going to be on our backs. We're going to have our knees bent in that sort of 45-degree angle again. And then we're going to lie down onto our backs. What we're going to do from here, we're going to have our hands slightly raised off the floor. We're going to lift up, so we're engaging those core muscles, engaging the abdominals, and from here we're going to reach down one side at a time as if you were going to tap your ankle. You might be able to reach your ankle, which is great. You might be able to only go slightly to the side. Absolutely fine, whatever you're up to at the moment. Just making sure we're keeping that core engaged and that we are moving side to side as much as we can. We're going to do 3 sets of these, and we're going to change the repetitions. So we're going to do 20 repetitions on each side for the first set. For the second set, we're going to drop down to 15 on each side. And for the last set, we're going to drop down to 10 on each side. Okay? So up into that position, engage the core, make sure the neck's in sort of a lengthened position with the chin tucked in, and then we will go. Off we go. 1, 2, 3. So we're going all the way up, 20 each side, so 40 in total. Keeping that core engaged the whole time. Okay, so we're halfway there now. Just going as far as you can. That's great. Like I said, if you can tap the ankles, then that's great. If not, just go as far as you can. Okay, let's do 5 more on each side. Great, okay, and then relax from there. You should be able to feel those core muscles working nice and hard. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a 20-second break. If you need a quick drink, then go and grab one. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do 15 on each side. Okay, so for this set, we're going to be doing, like I said, 15 each side, so 30 in total this time. So we're going to go back into that position with the knees bent up, lower yourself down to the floor. Then we're going to engage the core, lift those shoulders up off the floor, and off we go for 15 on each side. Breathe in nice and slow. Five more on each side. Okay, well done, and relax from there. Okay, so we'll take another rest. So we're going to have 20 seconds and then we will come back for the final set of this exercise. Okay, so for the final set of this exercise, we're just going to be doing 10 on each side this time. Okay, so 20 in total. So back into our position with our knees bent, lying down on the floor, engage the core, arms up, and off we go. So we're just going for 10 each side. Should be nice and short, this one. 2 more on each side. Great, okay. And just take your time getting back up into your standing position. Brilliant. So that is the end of that exercise. We're just going to take 20 seconds, then we'll go for a quick drink, come back and do the next exercise. Okay, so this next exercise is called thread the needle. For this one, we will be on all fours on the mat, so take your time getting down to the floor. If you need to pause the video, then make sure to do so. What we're going to do with this one, this exercise is a stretching, mobilizing movement, but we're not going to hold it still for long periods of time. What we're going to do is get into the position, hold it for a couple of seconds, come up and then go on to the other side, hold that one for a couple of seconds. And we're going to do 8 repetitions, have a little break, and then we'll come back to do 8 more. So for our all fours position, we need to make sure that our hips are directly above our knees and that our hands are directly below our shoulders. From here, what we're going to do, we're going to lift one hand and we're going to place the back of the palm on the mat, making sure we're not putting any weight through the back of our hand. That should all be going through the hand that's left palm side down. From here, we're going to very gently slide our hand out to the side, so we're rotating the body and trying to bring the shoulder towards the mat. You should feel a stretch in the lower back. Just go as far as you can, hold for a couple of seconds, and come back up and put the palm face down. Then we're going to swap sides, bring the palm down just as much as you can. If you can get the shoulders to the floor, that's great. If not, then just go as far as you can. And back up. Okay, so we're going to do 7 more on each side. Just as far as you can, a couple of seconds. And back up. Opposite side. And back up. Okay, 6 more. That's great, and again. Just going as far as you can and as far as you feel comfortable. With these stretches, there shouldn't be any pain. It should just be a gentle stretch. Okay, so we've got 3 more on each side. Just holding for that extra second at the bottom of each movement. 2 more on each side. Just a couple of seconds at the bottom of each movement. Go as far as you can. Like I said, if you can get the mat to the shoulder to the mat, then that's great. Okay, last one. And back up. Okay, that is the end of the first set. So take 20 seconds. If you need a quick drink, then make sure to get one, and then we'll come back for the second set. Okay, so let's get going for the second set. Same thing again. So we're going to go into our all fours position. And then from here, we're going to take one hand, bring it out to the side just as far as you can, lowering that shoulder towards the mat. And back up. And the same on the other side. You should feel that stretch in the lower back, also up into the mid back, and sometimes on the back of the shoulder as well. Just depending on where you've got some tightness. Okay, 5 more on each side. Just hold for that 1 to 2 seconds and come back up. That's great. Dropping that shoulder as much as you can towards the mat. But like we said before, it should just be a gentle stretch. There shouldn't be any pain. If you are feeling pain, you might just be going too far for now. So just come out of the stretch slightly. great. Just one more on each side. Just reaching as far as you can comfortably. Back up. Okay, and then nice and slowly get yourself back up into your standing position. And we're going to take a 20-second break, so make sure to grab a drink if you want one, and then we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so in this exercise, we're going to be doing a plank, but we're going to be doing it on our knees. So nice and slowly, I want you to get down to the mat. Make sure you take your time. If you need to pause the video, then make sure you do so. So for this one, we're going to be doing the plank on our elbows. So we're having knees touching the floor and feet touching the floor, and we're having the contact with our elbows and our hands. The rest of our body is going to be lifted off the floor in a nice straight line, trying to keep that core nice and engaged whilst we do this exercise. We're going to do 3 30-second holds. We'll have a bit of a break in between each one. If you need to stop before 30 seconds, then that's absolutely fine. Just go as much as you can, and you should be able to build that up over time. Okay, so just coming forwards, we're going to drop the elbows onto the floor. So we've got knees, feet, elbows and hands on the floor. Everything else should be in a nice straight line. Squeeze the abdominal muscles and squeeze the glutes, and off we go for 30 seconds. So breathe in nice and slowly through this one. Like I said before, if 30 seconds is too much, then that's fine. Make sure we're squeezing all the right muscles, so those abdominal muscles and those glute muscles. We're halfway there. Try and keep the body nice and straight if you can. It sometimes helps to do this in front of a mirror, or ask someone if they could, take a picture or a video of you if you feel comfortable, so you can have a look at the position that you're in. Okay, and then relax from there. Okay, so we're going to have a 20-second break, and then we will come back to do our second repetition. Okay, let's go through for a second time then. So we're going to come back into that same position. So remember, we've got the knees, the feet, elbows and hands on the floor. Everything else is being lifted off and staying in that nice straight line. Okay, so into the position, make sure you get yourself comfortable, and then off we go for 30 seconds. It doesn't matter with this one if you want your feet flat on the floor, or if you prefer to have them tucked under, doesn't matter, because we're just focusing on squeezing those abdominal muscles and squeezing those glute muscles to keep us in that nice straight line with the body lifted off the mat. Nice, slow and steady breathing. And relax from there. Okay, so we're going to have 20 seconds again, and then we will go through for our third repetition. Okay, so same thing for our third repetition. This is the last one that we're going to do of this exercise. So we're going to have knees and feet on the floor, elbows and hands on the floor, everything else off the floor into a nice straight position, and off we go for 30 seconds. Like we said, trying to breathe in nice and slowly if you can, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth, squeezing the abdominal muscles. Try and keep the body in a straight line. Halfway there. Okay, and relax from there. That's great, and then nice and slowly, we're gonna get ourselves back up into our standing position. And we're gonna have 20 seconds rest before our next exercise, so make sure you grab a drink and we'll come back for the next one. Okay, so this exercise is called the slow mountain climbers. So for this one, we're going to be down on the mat. So take your time getting down to the floor. If you need to pause the video, then make sure to do so. We're going to be in a position for this one where we've got our hands on the floor and our toes on the floor, but everything else is going to be lifted off. So we will be in a position like this. We're going to have a gentle bend in the knees. Okay, we don't want them locked out straight. Gentle bend. What we're going to do, one knee at a time, we're going to bring the knee up to the chest by engaging our core muscles. Once we've done it on both legs, that's one repetition. We're going to do 12 repetitions in this first set. Then we'll have a break and we'll come back and do 12 more. Okay, so into the position. Hands down, toes tucked under, lift the knees off the floor, and then off we go. Bring the knee to the chest as much as you can. Nice and slow and controlled, that's one. And two. Nice steady breathing. Just come in as high as you can, engage in those core muscles. That's great. That's number 6. So we've got 6 more to do. If you need to have a little break, then do. Okay, 2 more on each side. Okay, coming down into that relaxed position. Okay, so we're going to have a little break. Take 20 seconds, get a drink of water if you need one, and then we'll come back for a second set. Okay, so let's get into the second set of this exercise. So we're doing exactly the same again. So let's get into that position where we have just our hands and our toes on the mat. So tuck the toes in there, up into this position, knees slightly bent, and then bring the knees up, engaging the core, nice and slowly. 12 on each side. Do them at your own pace, whatever feels good for you at the moment. Squeezing that core nice and tight. 4 more on each side. And relax from there. Nice and slowly get yourself back up into your standing position. We're going to take 20 seconds break, grab yourself a quick drink if you need one, and we'll come back for the next exercise. Okay, so this exercise is called the Cobra. This is one of our stretches, so we're going to be holding this position for 30 seconds. We're going to do it 3 times through. We're going to be down on the mat for this one, so take your time getting down to the floor. We're going to be lying on our front. So onto the floor, on our front. The hands are going to come underneath the shoulders, like so, with the elbows tucked in to our sides. What we're going to do from here, keeping the legs still on the floor, you're just going to try and extend the elbows and push yourself up. Just go as far as you can. If you can only come up onto your elbows, that's absolutely fine. If you can get all the way to the top with straight arms, that's also fine. Whatever feels comfortable for you at the moment. And then we're going to hold for 30 seconds, okay? Right, off we go then. So big push up into our position and hold for 30. Make sure that we're breathing nice and slowly in this one, with it being a stretch. We want to focus on that breathing. Try and keep the head forwards if you can. Try and relax the muscles into this position. Really focus on that breathing. Just going as far as you can. You should just feel that gentle stretch on this one. Okay, and then relax from there. We're just going to take a few seconds in between each repetition. If you feel like you need a little bit longer, then feel free to pause the video and then join back in when you feel ready. But if not, then we're going to go again. So we're going to push up as much as we can and off we go for 30 seconds. So like we were saying, you should feel a gentle stretch on this one. It shouldn't be painful. If it feels painful, then it might mean that we're just going too far. So maybe just lower down slightly and just don't go as far for this one. That's great, 10 more seconds on this one. Keeping that head forwards if you can. Breathe in nice and slow. Okay, and then come back down to the floor. So same as last time, we're just going to take a few seconds to relax. If you feel like you need longer, then pause the video and just return when you feel ready. But if not, let's go into our last one. So we're going to push up just as far as you can and off we go. Focusing on that breathing, feeling that gentle stretch and trying to relax the muscles into that position. Also try not to hunch the shoulders up, try and push the shoulders down if you can. Breathe in nice and slow. Okay, and then slowly lowering ourselves down. And then taking your time, I want you to return to your standing position. That's great. Okay, that is the last exercise of today's class before we move into our cool down. So we're going to take 20 seconds, have a quick drink of water if you need one, and then we will come back for our quick cool down to round off today's session. Okay, let's get started with our cool down. So with the cool down, we're going to be focusing on bringing that heart rate back down, bringing our breathing rates back down, and sort of just relaxing the muscles after the class that you've done. So we're going to start off nice and easy with 30 seconds of deep breathing. So for the breathing, I'd really focus on breathing in through the nose and then breathing back out through the mouth. We're wanting those nice deep breaths. So when we are breathing in, try and think about sort of filling the rib cage, and then obviously releasing on the breath out. Okay, we're going to go for 30 seconds all together. Off we go. So like I said, breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. And make sure, like we said, we're really trying to fill that rib cage with air when we're breathing in, and then breathing out nice and slowly. You might find that at the moment, because you've just finished the exercises, that it's a bit difficult to slow that breathing rate down, but just go at your own pace. Okay, fab. What we're going to go on to next, again, nice and easy, we're going to go on to some walking on the spots. So in the warm-up before, we were obviously trying to increase our heart rate with the marching and the jogging. This time we're trying to bring it back down. So we're going to go nice and slowly and just walk on the spot. Okay, for 30 seconds, off we go. That's great. So still swinging those arms like we were before, but obviously just in a bit more of a relaxed position on this one and going a little bit slower. That's great. That's halfway there. 5 more seconds. Great, okay, this time we're gonna move on to doing some hip circles. So we did these in our warm up before, but again, a bit like the walking, we're gonna bring the pace down on this one. So we're gonna have the feet shoulder width apart, hands on the hips, and again, make the circles as small or as big as you can. And we're just gonna go big circles with the hips, nice and slowly. We're gonna do 30 seconds all together, off we go. So bringing the pace down a little bit on this one, just moving through the full movement, nice and slowly. We can still concentrate on our breathing in these cool down exercises. So really trying to slow that breathing down. 10 more seconds. Great, okay. For the next movement, we're going to be going down to the floor. So take your time getting down. If you need to hold on to something, then do that. Nice and carefully onto the floor. And we're going to have the feet out in front, legs nice and straight. I want you to try and keep the knees as straight as possible with this one. And then we're going to rest the hands on front of the thighs. From here, we're just going to slide down the legs just as far as you can. And we want to grip on to our legs as close as we can to our ankles. And we're going to hold that stretch for 30 seconds. Okay, so moving down just as far as you can. And then let's hold for 30 seconds. Off we go. Still focusing on that breathing when we're doing this movement. So breathing nice and slowly in and out. And we should feel that nice gentle stretch down the back of the legs. Okay, we're halfway there. Ten seconds left. And 5 seconds. Okay, and sit back up into that relaxed position. We're going to get ourselves back up into a standing position, but again, take your time. If you need to hold on to something to help you get up, then that's absolutely fine. Okie doke. Once we're up then, for the next movement, we're going to be doing some stretches, mobility work for the middle back. So we're going to have the feet shoulder width apart again. The hands this time are going to come up behind the head. And we're going to be doing 4 different movements. So we're going to be coming down into a forward position, back up and into a slightly extended position. Then we're also going to do some flexion to the side, back up into a middle position and over to the side. Okay, we might add in a little bit of rotation too, just to stretch a few extra muscles. We're going to go for 30 seconds. I want you to go at your own pace and we're just going to move through all those different movements, just making sure that we're stretching all the right muscles. Okay, off we go all together. So coming forwards, back up into that slightly extended position, and back down, over to the sides, and then rotating. That's great. And again, we're going to go slightly forwards and up and slightly back. Then we're going to lean to the sides. And again, we might go slightly over 30 seconds, but we want to get all those movements back in. And the final rotation. Okay, and then bring the arms back down into our neutral position. We're going to finish off by doing 30 seconds of our deep breathing again. So we're going to go in through the nose, out through the mouth, make sure we're trying to fill that rib cage there, and then release. Okay, off we go. So hopefully this breathing will be sort of easier now. Hopefully you'll be breathing that a little bit slower. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Again, really trying to fill that rib cage with air. Back down. Brilliant. Okay, well done everyone. So thank you for attending our exercise class today. We hope you've enjoyed it and we hope to see you very soon on our next session. Thank you.